Hello, I am Ricky Church here for Flickering Myth, and I'm speaking with Tron Ares screenwriter Jesse Wigutow. How are you doing today, Jesse?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. Tron Ares comes out this Friday. You must be pretty excited for it.
I am excited. It's been a long road. It's been a very long road, kind of long and winding, and at times existential. I'm not sure I always believe we get here, but it's been super satisfying, and Friday's a big day.
Yeah, awesome. Tron is this beloved cult franchise. People love the original. Tron Legacy is like I personally think, and so do many others, that it's such an excellent, amazing film. So, what's it like for you to join in on this franchise?
Uh, Flattering. It's been a real fun experience and obviously an opportunity work career wise. I did do some work on Legacy, which is how I kind of became familiar and associated with the franchise. I'm hopeful that this iteration, this installment, carries the torch forward and makes everybody proud.
Mhm. And what can you tell us about Ares? Just both as a movie and the character Ares, computer AI, which like we're seeing dealt with in very real new ways now. So what kind of inspired you to tackle something so modern, and especially since all this AI talk like began a little bit after Ares was starting production and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this conversation's been happening for a significant number of years at this point. When we began the development, the character, the world of AI was not remotely familiar to the way people are familiar with it today. Obviously, artificial intelligence was being pursued and researched, but it wasn't in the public sphere the way it is today. And so, we have, in a way, been forced to chase this explosive growth in technology, story-wise, but I think it's also made this character somewhat serendipitously a little more relatable now than perhaps the way we posited it 13 years ago when it was really
Mhm.
just this kind of science fiction idea. So it's been a journey, and the technology has been kind of the I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's been kind of, we've been chasing, it's been leading the way, and we've been kind of been following behind it.
Mhm. And you just brought up technology. When the original Tron came out, that was like some groundbreaking visual effects for 1980, I think it was, right? And then Tron
83.
Legacy, even more so. So what and with Ares too, like 13 years after Legacy, and CGI has improved tremendously since then still. So what's that like seeing all the advancements in visual effects for this one?
It's awesome. I mean, as the writer, particularly for a film like this, you kind of know if this movie's going to get made, it's going to look really good. Like the effects have to be there, the visuals have to be there, the audio has to be there. So my job was really tell a simple, compelling story that moves quickly. That was kind of not the mandate, but the design. And so in a way, like I'm kind of like every other audience member. Obviously, I've seen the development after we've shot it, but just enjoying what the VFX team has done. And I think if nothing else, the audio visuals of this movie really deliver.
Hmm. Yeah, and the last movie, of course, we had Daft Punk as the composers. Now it's Nine Inch Nails. Like that's a huge thing too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the soundtrack is haunting and pounding and compelling, and really, really complements the film in the best possible way. Maybe more than the soundtrack I've heard in a long time.
Mhm. And Tron's always dealt with like not just technological aspects, but kind of existential crises and philosophical stuff. So, what kind of issues were you looking to tackle with this one?
Yeah, I mean it's a good question. I think that's always been at the in the kind of DNA of the franchise, asking some of these provocative questions, and obviously you have to kind of embed those questions as organically as possible in a narrative that works. I think there's a question around, and this has been the case for a while. Free will, uh, programming, where the choices come from, who ultimately is master control. Um, More importantly, though, I think for me was this question around humanity as we've seen the growth of AI and into AGI over the last however many number of years, into kind of critical analysis. Uh, where and what makes somebody or something human? And is there potentially an exchange of humanity? Can artificial intelligence teach us anything about our own humanity and vice versa? Again, a very big, broad kind of concept and question, but that was very much at the core for me of understanding Aries.
Mhm. And like Legacy dealt with uh, Jeff Bridges and Garrett Hedlund as the father son, and Olivia Wilde as this artificial like AI, which is now kind of seems advanced further with Jared Leto now being brought into the real world. So, what kind of like you said that you worked on Legacy a bit as well. So, what kind of like story threads did you want to connect from Legacy to Ares, since this one's dealing with a new batch of characters?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, some of that philosophical DNA that comes from 1982, some of that what's the word I'm looking for? That kind of not new age, but this free thinking spirit of Jeff Bridges and what he brings not just to the first one, but to the franchise. Um, but there was an effort or a decision to move in a not a different direction, but to start a new self-contained story in a sense, with as much kind of genetic threading as we could find that didn't feel overbearing from the first and the second.
Mhm. And what's it like to see your script being populated by, like, the return of Jeff Bridges, obviously, but then you also have like Gillian Anderson in this. Like, it's a big cast. It's huge. So what's that like with seeing all these famous like and beloved actors who are known for some really cool things, like being brought into your story?
Yeah. It's a trip. It's surreal and it's always very satisfying. And you always learn as a writer about your own work by seeing excellent, sophisticated, experienced actors bringing more life and humanity to them than you even had on your own. So it's been awesome.
Mhm. What's been kind of like one of your favorite aspects of the franchise? Like, why do you think it's been so uh beloved by such a like devoted fan base for so long, even with like the long gaps between movies? Like, people are still say like, we want more Tron, we want to see more. It's like, what do you think it is that keeps it going?
Well, I hope that's the case. I mean, it's a good question. And I think on a more surface level, there is this um, almost aesthetic association people have. The assets of Tron, the light cycles, the light lines, they somehow have made it their way into the zeitgeist and they haven't left. So even if you didn't see the 1982 original, there's some familiarity that has managed to kind of inch its way deep into our as cultural psyche and zeitgeist, and lives on. And on another, maybe, more, if not profound, kind of deeper level, I do think there's something about, and I go back to 1982 when I first saw the film, and around that era, there was, Pac-Man and Gorf and
Mhm.
um, you keep naming games, and this idea that, like, I remember those tabletop Pac-Man games that you would sit on either end of, and like Pizza Hut, that was something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the idea that, like, you really felt like at the time you were in, and it's interesting now because the technology's evolved so explosively, but you felt like you were engaging with characters, Donkey Kong. Um, and the idea that you might go inside their world, I think was significant and compelling, and is part of what continues to interest an audience about the Tron franchise.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Because now we're seeing like that advance even more with like VR games and stuff like
Oh my
that.
God, it's
Actually
yeah,
stepping right into it.
yeah, it doesn't end.
Yeah. Now of course Tron Ares isn't the only like big fan favorite production that you're working on. You're also on Daredevil Born Again. So what is that like to be going from sci-fi with Tron to being like in the MCU with Daredevil and like Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, John Bernthal? Like what is that experience like?
A whole lot of fun. Those guys that you mentioned just make it, I don't want to say, it's not easy, but they're so fun to write for. Those characters have a long legacy that, very much predates me. I'm just kind of happy to be, in the room, so to speak.
Hmm. Yeah, and are you looking forward to season two at all? Because season one ended in such a huge way that's like I think it's going to be like a banger of a season two.
Yeah, I am excited for it, and I agree. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a very satisfying season.
Mhm. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jesse, for speaking with us. Tron Ares is in theaters on Friday. So thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Ricky.